Welcome to part 1 of my Crossout Bootcamp series of videos. The aim of this series is to equip you with all the information you need to be successful and have a good time in game, and ultimately help you progress to the more advanced content like invasion, hard raids and clan wars. This video is primarily aimed at new players who have learnt the absolute basic mechanics of the game like vehicle energy, but may not be sure where to go from there. Just before I get started, I want to point out that some of the things I cover may seem a little bit obvious, but they're included for the sake of establishing a base level of knowledge, and once I've done that, I can get into more advanced information in subsequent videos. Okay, let's get right into it. Equipping your vehicle should be your first serious goal in game. Gearing up in the first hours is unfortunately a very slow process, but it is possible to throw together a vehicle strong enough for medium raids quite quickly. Farming copper in medium is much quicker than easy, but without a viable build, you're going to fail a lot. The most important and first step in this process is to go out and get yourself some blue weapons, but to do this you need a viable vehicle to farm with. Your starting vehicle is frankly total junk, but don't worry about that because you won't have to put up with it for long. Just before you get into battle, it's a good idea to take a look at the Season tab. Seasons reward you with bonus resources and items for completing different objectives. I'll talk more about them later, but for now, I recommend you activate the Easy Season and try to work through it for a good amount of bonus scrap. Obviously, you will need it for crafting, but I recommend you sell some every now and then to get together some gold for workbench rent. Now that you have a little bit of income, get yourself an Avenger plus Cord build or just a 4 Cord build to farm with. Both of these will be quite strong at about 2 to 2.5k power score, so just choose the one you enjoy. You can see a little bit of gameplay of each playstyle here, and as you can see they're both pretty reasonable. You're not going to be competing with the Seal Club builds, but they're alright. From here, it's a good idea for you to equip a fuel barrel to get a bit of fuel for later on. The best thing to do with your barrel is stick it under the cabin between the frame. Frame components have a very high damage resistance, so are great for protecting explosive parts. As you can see, with the barrel in this position, it's quite safe from incoming fire, so it's unlikely to get hit and blow you all over the place. You also want to be using your free 200 fuel per day to farm a bit of copper and completing daily challenges for a big scrap boost. Carry on farming and selling until you have the 25 gold for engineer's workbench rent. Then craft yourself a little boy. Sorry if you don't like the cannons, but the little boy is by far the strongest single blue you can build early. It's hard to counter for the majority of builds and actually has a higher damage per second value than its big brother. Pair it with a single cord and then carry on leveling to 10. While you're doing this, you should use your 4 remaining engineer crafts. What you craft is up to you, but I recommend that you use one of the tokens to craft the highest market value item. Sell it and buy a Jawbreaker cabin to use in raids. You also need to start thinking about what weapons you want to be using. The best way to make this decision is, in my opinion, decide what purple weapon you want to be using, then make the blues that you need for that. This way every blue item you make is moving you closer to a hard raid viable build. Dual Thunderbolts or Spectres are probably the best new player options. They're viable for both PvP and PvE, but more importantly, the items you need to craft them will be good in medium raids. Executioner cannons are also a good option, but without a reasonable number of ammo boxes, you're going to struggle in PvE. Once you hit 10, join your faction of choice, pay the 25 rent the same way as last time, and craft a 2 energy generator. If you join Lunatics, you'll have to craft something else and sell it, then buy the generator. Then craft the blue weapons you need for your epic weapon of choice. Once all that's done, you should be capable of farming medium raids, and you should also be pretty strong in PvP. Mediums pay out more copper for the fuel and allow you to farm copper nearly 4 times faster than easy raids. So from here you should be able to progress much quicker. This is the build I quickly threw together with the Jawbreaker, generator, the 2 Spitfires needed for a Thunderbolt shotgun, and 2 basic white shotguns, and it's completely viable for farming any medium raid. It also uses a rare weapon cooler, which will close to double your damage output for the shotgun build. From this point on, it's totally up to you what you craft, but I highly recommend you stick to getting a matching pair of your epic weapon. Finally, I just want to warn you against moving up in power score too quickly. One of the biggest mistakes a new player can make is to overinflate their vehicle's power score by adding excessive amounts of components that don't work together efficiently. The result of this will be that you get matched against much more experienced and better equipped players, and generally you're just going to have a horrible time. This is what all those players who are crying pay to win are doing. I could make a whole video just on building efficiently to keep power score down, but for the purpose of this video, the best thing I can do is recommend you do not exceed 4.5k power score until you're using at least epic weaponry. That concludes the absolute basics of getting a viable PvE build together. If the weapons I mentioned are not to your liking, you can of course aim to build whatever you want. These were just my personal recommendations based on experience. Thanks for watching, I hope you found the information helpful, and click the link on screen for part 2 which covers XP, mechanics and seasons.